Hello there, welcome to my YouTube channel Saint Nightingale. If you're new here, do not forget to subscribe. Also click on the notification bell to get notified about new videos. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a bust caging for a shoulder dart bustier. Let's go. So I have a separate tutorial link that will show you how to cut a shoulder dart bustier, and I'm going to be dropping the link in this video for you to watch. So let's proceed. After cutting the pattern for the shoulder bustier, I went on to place this on the stay. I ironed it, then I proceeded to cut in the part for the wording. The second video, which is the tutorial video for shoulder dart bustier, will further explain how this bustier pattern was cut. So do look out for the link in this video, click on it and go watch it. I'm using the pattern to trace out the opposite side of the bustier cut. This is the wording. After this, I went on to place on the fabric and I'm going to iron this out. So after ironing, I placed the stay on the fabric again to press the wording firmly on the fabric. Remember, the first thing I did was to iron the stay, that black material you can see on the fabric, on the lining. I ironed the stay on the lining, then ironed the wording on the pattern, then ironed the stay again on the pattern, then I'll just trim out. You're going to also do this for the center front as well. So now that this is ironed out, I'm going to be placing the material, the brocade material, on the lining, and then I'm going to pin this down with pins so that when I'm sewing it's easy to move from side to side. I'm also going to be making markings on the fabric to know where the connecting marks is for the bust point and the under bust. So after securing this with the pins, let's iron the lining. So this is the lining that will hold the bust caging. I'm ironing this on the gum stay to give it structure and make it firm. After ironing this, I'm going to trace out with the scissors, as you can see in the video. So like I mentioned, I used the pattern to mark the connecting points on the fabric, so it's easy for me to identify what portion should go together so that there are no gaps when connecting. Once this is done, we'll go to the sewing machine now and begin to connect the bustier together. So let's quickly do this. Let me also mention that depending on the bust that you're working on, you could use the hardest wording pad to also work on your bustier cut, depending on how busty the person is. So I've connected the fabric part. This is now the lining for the bustier that is being connected now. So let's go to the ironing table to iron out everything. So I'm using the bust ham to ensure that the fabric opens up. I'm also nudging the curved part, that's the under bust part, so it's easy and it slips properly. So when doing this, you have to make sure to flatten and iron as flat as possible so that the fabric can be manipulated to do the bust caging. So the same thing, nudging the under bust parts and then opening up with the iron. Now that we've ironed out the bustier points, I'm going to show you how to get the measurements for the bust caging. So from the armhole, I'm going to go downwards by 2 inches and I'll mark with a pencil. And then on the side, I'm going to go outwards by 2.5 inches. I'll do the same thing on the other side, from that armhole downwards by 2 inches and then outwards by 2.5 inches. So the next marking I'm going to do is on the nipple point, which is 15 inches, and that's what I'm trying to get on this. Now that I've gotten that, I'm going to mark across the bust, and then get the U shape to meet that initial point on the side. Just look at what I'm doing to understand. So now that this is done, let me just darken a bit with the pencil. I'm going to proceed to moving upwards by 2 inches to get the next line. So after getting that line, I'm going to draw the U shape again to look like a canoe, and then we'll go upwards again by another 2 inches. So now let's take the markings on the body now. So I'm going to definitely be putting the boning on the joining of the bustier, but then I'm going to put 3 additional lines right inside of the bustier. Just as you can see, it's about 1.5 inches far away from the v-neck so that it doesn't obstruct sewing, and I'm going to do a small curve around the chest area. I'm going to also do the same thing on the opposite side and on the center as well. So you can see the center has a straight marking as well as 2 other ones on the sides, just to give it the firmness. Also, I'm taking this higher up a bit towards where you have the pointiness of the V, so that it also adds structure to the bust caging. So now that our markings are done, we'll proceed to the sewing machine now to sew the boning on it. So for this, I'm going to be using the virgining boning for this, and I'm going to be starting on the straight lines first. I'm going to be sewing this on the bustier joining first, then on the body downwards before I go on the sides. So I'm going to be sewing vertically first before sewing horizontally. So I'm starting with the bustier joining. So when I started working on this, I realized that the thread was cutting. I had to now change my needle to a size 14. So if you're using a size 16 or 18 needle, it might not be able to sew into the boning. Perhaps if you're experiencing this, you can try switching your needle to be able to accommodate the texture of the boning. Also, while sewing this, ensure to sew on the thin line on the side of the boning, because sewing into the white space would make the thread also cut. So our bust caging is almost done. Let me just show you quickly what we have achieved so far. The last line is what you see there, which I'm going to be sewing now. So we're done sewing this now. I'm going to be taking out all the excess thread so that it gives us a clean and neat finishing. Then we proceed to the ironing table to iron out properly so that this structure takes form and the shape that is desired. So you can use a steam iron or any iron that is good enough to open this up. So we're opening up the inside and then we'll open up the outside as well. Back on the sewing machine, I'm going to join the lining and the front part together so that we can have our bustier. Afterwards, we trim out the excess and then iron out again. So I'm going to join the front and the back together, as well as the bottom part of the dress, the sleeves, and then I'll show you what this turned out to look like. And voila, this is it. This is our bust caging sitting pretty. Like I mentioned in the video, for an in-depth video that shows how that bustier, shoulder that bustier was cut, please look out for the link in the video. Do you have any questions for me? You can leave them down below in the comment section and I'll be attending to it. Thank you for watching. From me to you, keep creating magic. Bye bye.